Personally managing tasks to implement change. This is the topic for discussion in this particular video. We'll talk about the individual contributions towards the change of an organization. Let us understand how do we go ahead with it. There are basically 8 steps of changes. We'll discuss those 8 steps in today's presentation. The most common errors that has to be found in an organizational change, discuss what is involved in creating a new culture, and begin planning for your personal change. Remember, when we talk about new culture, we are talking about organizational change per se, and that is what we are into it. The 8 steps of change. This is the pictograph which tells about what is the change all about it. It all begins with the first is the creating a sense of urgency, then probably building and guiding the team. First, understand the fact that there is a requirement for change. Build the guiding team, develop a change mission and strategy. That is what we look into it. Understand and buy in. Empower others. Now, once you start empowering others, it tries to build trust and confidence in themselves, and thereby this confidence has a rub-in effect on everyone in the organization. So that what I would talk around is short-term wins. This short-term wins will be has to be relentless, has to be continuous. Do not never let down. Create a new culture thereby at the end of the day, because once you do not let it go, it becomes forms a habit altogether. Let us understand those 8 steps: setting the stage and creating a sense of urgency, get people attention, sell the requirement for change, describe the consequences, because change, if you do not incorporate, you perish. Either you perform or you perish is the mantra for the day in all the corporate world. Immerse people in information about the change, discuss ways to solve the problems of the people, identify the change requirement, empower them to solve the problem on their own. If you can guide the employees, if you can infuse confidence in them, half of your battle is already won. And this is what needs to be done in the very first step of creating a sense of urgency, thereby pull together the guiding team. This is where you have to build up a core team wherein there has to be key players, especially staff, especially air managers, especially supervisor. When I say staff, manager, supervisor, I'm talking in terms of vertical alignment of organization. Never to forget that these people should from come from different department, different function, different background, because only then there will be an organization wide change process being implemented. Identifying a guiding team that is multidisciplinary. Consider the credibility and integrity of change leaders thereby. This is what we are looking into it. Choose a proven leader who can drive the change process altogether. Strong position, power, broad expertise, and high credibility. Ensure the guiding team has both the management and the leadership skill. Management with skills controls the process. Leadership skills drives the change that comes across it. You need to pull together a very strong, a very vibrant team, a team which should come from a different backgrounds of the organization and should be from all levels. Now, these are the people who are going to incorporate change in the organization on behalf of the top management. So tell them, sell them from the position of power, from a position of broad expertise and probably credibility. That is what we look into it. Develop a change vision strategy. This is where the senior people are responsible for establishing a culture of safety aligned with an expectation, core values, and shared beliefs. Informing and nursing homes of these values and evaluating the culture, thereby leading the process, translating those values in expected behaviors. This is what we look into it. first and foremost thing is the value that we create. These value needs to be core to the fact shared among the organization, and these values to be translated into expected behaviors, because once it gets into behavior, it establishes a sense of trust, honesty, and accountability among the people and the employee, communicating a commitment to shaping the cultures. And that is what the change visions and strategy is all about it. Yes, we need to be thorough. Yes, we need to be consistent. Yes, we need to be transparent. Communicate for understanding and buy-ins. This is what the communication is all about it. All about the cooperation, all about the support. Support when it is required the most, when there is a sense of uncertainty, there is a sense of fear, anger, or for that matter, resistance. Encourage discussion, communication. Did I say encourage dissent, encourage disagreement, encourage debate? Keep people talking. It is only when you start communicating, things will work, things will move eventually in a positive direction. Tell people what you want to know, what you do not know. Acknowledge the concern and perceive the losses, and try to keep everyone in the loop. Models the expected behaviors, value registers. They clarify the problems, identify other problems that needs to be solved for. Their tough questions can strengthen and improve the change. They may be right, and it can be a dumb idea, but probably one of the most important thing is to have a sense of communication, have a sense of we feeling been incorporated among the employees all together, empower the others to act. This is what we keep on talking around it. Provide direction. This is the most important thing. The direction is towards the goal, towards the objective that you have set. Allow others to find out their own team driven solution. Do not dictate, do not be projective in things. Give people the liberty to find their own solution. Encourage people to speak and participate. Take calculated risks. Share the information you know. And this is what you got to tell them in case the risk that the people take might succeed. No nuances around it, but in case it fails, it should make them wiser, and that is to know what is to be done and what is to be avoided. Encourage teamwork and collaboration. Personal reflection and learning is a must thing. Train employees so they have the desired skill and the attitude. Track activities and progress. Set short term goals is what I keep on talking around it. Absolute short term goals to the people around there. Produce short term wins is what we talk around it. Whatever wins that you produce, show visible success, further impetus for changes, provide positive feedback, recognize, reward, and contribute to wins. Further build morale and motivation. Leverage sessions learning to help plan the next goal. Create greater difficulties for blocking of the change. Please, first thing and foremost thing, there might be problems, there might be issues. For each of the problems, try to sit down and sort it out. In case there are some good short term wins, please recognize, acknowledge, and if possibly do it publicly, and thereby it is only going to build up a sense of camaraderie among the team members of the organization. Build that requisite momentum, the required momentum which helps to draw in the neutral and the reluctant supporters. This is the celebration of short-term win will actually facilitate, involve all the employees of an organization towards the desired change. Never, did I say never let down, let up. Always acknowledge the hard work, celebrate success and accomplishment as on when on it happens. Reaffirm the vision. This is what we talk about it. Bring people together towards the vision. Acknowledge what the people have left behind. Develop a long-term goals, a long-term plan. provide tools and training to reinforce new behaviors, reinforce, reward the new behaviors, create system and structure that reinforces new behaviors. This is where you prepare people for the next level, the next change that comes around it. Definitive of about is creating a new culture. Develop action for what? For stabilizing, reinforcing, and sustaining the change. Once you have gone to the new paradigm, try to make it sustainable and habitual and perfection, and stabilize the new behavior, new process altogether. Give people time to mourn their actual losses. Probably yes, it might be momentary setbacks might happen. Provide skills and knowledge training, upgrade them, upgrade the employees, develop new reward system, recognize and celebrate accomplishments as and when on it happens, develop performance measures to continually monitor the result from change to identify opportunities for further improvement in the process, make adjustment to the change and vision strategy to reflect new learning and insight, encourage people to be open, absolutely open to the new challenges, new forces, and pressure for the next change that comes happening. Now, whenever we incorporate a change, there might be errors. There might be errors which are very common in an organizational change process. For example, people might get complacencies, right? Here, people might relax themselves. They might not apply to the up team's requirement. As such, what happens is, therefore, the performance goes down. This is what we are talking about. Complacencies is all about it. Failing to create a successful, powerful guiding coalition and change team, not truly integrating the vision, allowing obstacles to block changes, not celebrating short term wins, declaring victory too soon, neglecting to anchor changes firmly in the culture is what we look into it. This is the errors to common to the organization change time and again. Culture changes come the last and never the first. Organization culture is the last thing to be changed. First and foremost thing might be technology, might be people, might be process. But if you are talking about organizational culture, the last thing that needs to happen will come at the very fag end of the change when everything has stabilized. Most alterations in the norms and shared value come in the end of the transformation post process. New approaches sink in and only shows after you have tasted success. Now, this is what needs to be understood. Feedback and reinforcement are crucial to buy in. Sometimes the only way to change culture is to change the key people. Sadly but true at times, key people needs to either reinvent themselves or to be moved around, and that is the only way to change. Individual and leadership positions needs to be on the board, or the old culture will automatically reassert us themselves. Now this is what we need to talk about, the culture changes. Culture change obviously comes at the very fag end of the process. Let us so diagrammatical representation of personally imagining tasks to implement the change model. In the first phase, if you talk about it, it is all about pre-training assessment and improvising on a climate to prepare for the change in the first place. It is the site assessment, environment assessment, culture data, everything, and probably been cognitively, psychologically, or socially been groomed for the change, wherein you got to say yes or no, and probably in all process, if it is a yes, there is an action plan. If it is a no, either you change or probably you have been asked to leave the organization in the first place. So that is what the action plan comes around. It comes the phase two. People are ready for the changes, the planning and the training take place. This is where the phase two, where people are actively being conjoined, learned, taught, upskilled or de-skilled the way it needs to be done, and probably the such kind of training comes around it, and thereby we are looking for an intervention at the fag end of the phase two process, or should I say at the beginning of the phase three process. There is an intervention that comes around it, and this intervention tells whether you people are ready for the change. This is where you go for a coaching methodology, wherein we need to integrate the culture, monitor the plan, and continuous improvement take place. This needs to be done because now we are trying to formalize the event process change altogether at a sustainable level, at a repeatable level, and that is what we do it. First step being setting the stage, deciding what to do and make it happen, eventually make it stick is what we look into it. Let us come to the last 10, and with this we discuss everything that an individual can do to finish up the change process altogether. Thank you for watching this video.